Hello and welcome to the show. We're back on Forza 7, trying to build another car to take on our Rallycross circuit. Perhaps this Dodge Durango might be a good option. It is quite large. It is pretty damn heavy to begin with, although it is naturally four-wheel drive. We'll probably have some fairly sizable tyres and we're likely to get plenty of power out of it. I think it might be a little bit too unwieldy through, well, the tight chicanes that we have to deal with. However, maybe it'll actually deal very well with the dirt. Maybe its off-roading ability will be able to get a decent amount of speed out of it. But yeah, we're going to find out. We are going to find out. First things first, we will put the vehicle on to some race tyres. While, yes, we are going to be having a little bit of off-roading, there is still a fair section of the track that is going to be tarmac. So, race tyres and very big tyre widths. In fact, that is massive tyres at the front. 3 5.5s at the back, 3 3.5s at the front. That is very good. That is very good, actually, for one of these sort of cars. Now, it is going to have a lot of weight for us to work with, so we do kind of need some pretty large tyres. Also, that is it's an impressive splitter. Are we going to have a mighty wing? Oh yes, it's an impressively low mighty wing. Like, the roof line is just about higher than the wings. I'm not sure about that wing. I would probably want it a little bit higher up, but never mind, it is what it is. It's what we're going to have to work with. Now, the cars in this series are being built to the top of S-Class, so plenty of room for upgrades, certainly in a car such as this one. Now, it starts off at £5,500. That's pretty bloody heavy, even for the SUVs of this game. We're going to want a roll cage for that chassis rigidity, but that's now to £5,700. I'm hoping weight reduction. It's going to take out a fair bit. It's down to 4,400. That is still a lot of weight. That's still an awful lot of weight. Now, again, as I said last week, if we can keep the standard engine, we will. There are some options, though, if the standard engine doesn't get to the top of S1 class. 5.2 V10, the 6.2 V8, this is the Hellcat engine, or we can have the 5.9 litre V8 Racing. The NASCAR engine will go in the Durango. However, for now, we're probably going to need a lot of power, so I think we will go for turbos rather than supercharger on this engine, because, I mean, yeah, it's not out of A-Class yet, although I will go and do bits and pieces in here. I think gearbox might not be a bad idea to try and sort out. Don't know what, I just imagine being a modern car, the Durango is going to have 10 gears, most of which are useless. Certainly useless for what we're going to be doing. I get the point of, you know, motorway gears and so on. Makes sense. But for what we'll be doing, yeah, we won't be needing them. Right, what will this engine get in terms of power? I would expect it to be pretty good. Up to 690 horsepower. What are we going to get when the turbo is bolted on? Ooh, 825 horsepower in the Durango. Yeah, this is going to have many horsepowers, but it is going to need them. It is going to need them because of the many weights. Although, admittedly, the Kia Stinger was hardly an ultra-lightweight car. That did have about 600 horsepower, and that was, what, 3,000 something pounds? Can't remember the exact number that the Stinger ended up at, but yeah, 897 horsepower in our Durango, still in S-Class. Yeah, it's a heavy bugger. It is a heavy bugger indeed. I will go and check we've got diff on. I think I put all of these bits and pieces in. Indeed we have. That's a lot of power for an S-Class car, but there is also a lot of weight. Maybe the Durango will be good on the dirt, or maybe its massive size will work against it. So, here we are at the Virginia International Raceway. We are using the south layout with our own alterations to the circuit. The Durango is going to have 5 laps to try and beat a 1:15.8 lap time set by the Audi Quattro. 1:16.8 was the time by the Kia. as I said with the first episode in this, not sure how some of the more extreme vehicles, but a car like this is going to react whatsoever. So expectation-wise, I would expect it to be slower than the Kia. However, we could well be surprised by the performance. Off the line, it's going to be pretty good. All-wheel drive and near enough 900 horsepower, going to be very helpful. However, trying to slow down 4,000 pounds into turn 1, likely to be a little bit on the scary side. The momentum of that that much speed ploughing towards the first corner is going to be immense. And I was not paying attention to where I was going. There was a two-wheeled moment from the Durango. Oh, we're definitely not stopping there. Okay, this is not where we want to be going. I think that's the second time in a row on the opening lap a car has gone around the very, very alternate route of this circuit. Now, we are not great on the dirt, I hate to say. We are not particularly great across there. Although it didn't help with our position. It certainly doesn't feel particularly great across here. Can we get turned into this hairpin? Just about. It's going to keep on sliding its way through the corner. That's all pretty terrible as far as an opening lap goes. I don't expect it to be flat out through this corner. No, it's not. It's definitely not going to be flat out through that corner. There is nowhere near enough grip to make that all work. We'll have to probably be a bit earlier on the brakes towards this final turn as well. Get it stopped, and then we can jump on the power fairly easily out the other side. The short gear ratio is not necessarily helping the car. Even with it being all-wheel drive, it's still fairly leery. In fact, it's sliding around quite a bit. We'll get up to the giddying heights of 160 miles an hour. Can we slow it down from the giddying heights of 160? We can actually get it stopped in a relatively decent amount of time. So it's quicker than the Quattro down there. I think maybe the Kia... Oh, did I exactly the same thing again? Maybe the Kia is a tad faster than this, but not by a huge amount. Right, proper line onto the dirt we go. Now, I think third gear is going to be where we want it to be at. First is useless, it's so short. Second, we actually just spin the wheels regardless, so third seems like as good an option as any around there. We will then head across towards the hairpin. Now, we really want to get the car straight like that for the exit here. Much better to try, or you can make up a lot more time with a good exit there than you can carrying a lot of speed into that section. So that works out quite nicely for the Durango. Again, we're going to get some understeer. Now, the grip will come to us a little bit over the course of these first couple of laps, of course, as the tyres warm up. It is going to help the car. You're still asking, they are big tyres, but you're still asking them a lot. You're trying to carry a lot of corner speed in a vehicle this heavy. That's punishing for the tyres. It's a 17.2 from the Dodge on its opening lap. That's actually not too shabby at all. If we can keep everything neat and tidy, might be able to beat the Stinger. It might get a lot closer to the Audi Quattro than anybody was ever expecting. Right, we fling the car out of the next corners. I'm impressed with the brakes on this thing. There's something that is going so fast and it is so heavy. It's really not doing a bad job of getting stopped. Now, I'm trying a slightly different approach onto this grass section. It's kind of a cautiously approach through there, but it is neat. And sometimes neat and tidy is where the speed is going to be found. It doesn't look flamboyant. However, again, if we can find speed by doing it, I'm okay with that. Again, it's that straight exit as we can. Try and pull it back onto the tarmac with as little fuss as possible. And we are up in terms of lap time. It's how much speed. If we could be flat, so far both the Kia and the Quattro are flat through that corner. If we could be flat in this, we would probably be able to get lap times, well, a lot more similar to the Kia if we can't beat the Kia. It's doing pretty well elsewhere, basically. If it's going this sort of pace, it's going to be a 16.5. In fact, it has gone quicker than the Stinger. The Durango is doing mighty fine work here, all things considered. There was a little lock-up into turn 1. I think that we have got away with that. It's a little bit of panic from me as we were trying to slow the car down. Turn 1 here is horrible. It is a completely blind braking zone, and the corner gets tighter and tighter. Just as you think you're through the turn and you're safe to get on the power, suddenly gets really, really tight. Not so bad once you've driven the circuit a lot of times, but the first few times it will really catch you out. Through the first chicane we go. Not sure it's quite as good this time around, and we were about 10th down through turn 1 now. Back up towards the hairpin we go. We've got a little bit of a different turn in line. Oh, can we get that power out the other side though? Got plenty of torque. I don't actually know how much torque we have in this, but I'm fairly sure it's going to be a monstrous figure. But we can actually have a look how much torque we've got. 750-ish amounts of torque in this, so yeah, plenty of torque to get it going if we are in a little bit of a higher gear somewhere. It's not going to come together this lap, I don't think. One more chance for the Dodge. It was a 17.1 though, still not a bad lap time, been pretty consistent so far. How brave dare we be on the brakes into turn 1? That was too brave, I think. That was too much. Trying to find a little bit of time there. It was only a smidge later than I had been in previous runs. I'm using the cones down that part and kind of judging whereabouts in the cones I'm jumping on the brakes. And yeah, that was too much. That was too much bravery from me there, trying to get the Dodge through. See, if we start throwing the car around on the way in there, you end up really shonky on the way kind of through. It's trying to get out of the dirt section there, where you get a little bit screwed over if you haven't been neat and tidy enough. Through here, there is a way of getting it kind of very sideways and then straightening it up for the exits. Very, very difficult to do consistently, and I still think being the neat and tidy option there is the better way to go. You can see we lost a second from big, actually we lost about 1.3 from being big sideways moments. So neat and tidy, I think, is the way to be going through all of those. We tried to find some lap speed with the big Dodge. Couldn't quite make it work. Could not quite make it work. But that all being said, 16.5 is not a bad lap time around here at all. The vehicle, not that bad to drive. While it is very big and it is very heavy, it isn't quite as unwieldy as you might expect. I mean, it's huge. It's absolutely mad. I mean, the Kia was quite big for this, certainly compared to what I would expect being the top running cars. This thing's ginormous, and yet we're still actually pretty good. Still actually pretty good through the dirt section. All of that power, all of that torque, helpful getting the car accelerated from the tighter sections. Yeah, that flat-out corner, that flat-out left, about the third to last corner, that is tough in this car. It's definitely, it's not going to be flat out here. It just doesn't quite get turned in the same way. But over the course of the lap, it will beat the Kia Stinger. It'll go up into second place. It's a bit over half a second down on the Audi Quattro, but to be faster than the Stinger and to be within a second of the Audi was not what I was expecting to say about the Durango. So there we go. Turns out pretty good in terms of a rallycross vehicle. That though is going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.